Hey guys, welcome to Monday Night Live. This is a low carb, keto, carnivore, intermittent fasting, prolonged fasting live stream. We allow people to come up. If you have questions about these ways of eating, please post it in the comments. So we do this kind of stream every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. As well, I'll show you. I'm just going to pop up the screen here. Here you go. I did develop a Patreon page. It's $5 Canadian, which I think might be around $3.50 American if you want more one-on-one coaching. In here, I have 3 members. It seems like these people come from my channel and they're not interested in learning keto. I think they're just donating to support my channel. You're welcome to do that. We will not hold back on Monday streams. I'm not saying I'm not going to tell you something on Monday. You got to go to my Patreon or anything like that. What was happening was I was like helping one person over here, one person over there, and it's quite repetitive. So I decided, hey, you know what? Small channel. I'll make Jason Swartz Nutrition, where I help you guys like the Monday stream, ketogenic, low carb, carnivore diet if you wish, and I'll help you to safely do intermittent fasting and prolonged fast if that's something that interests you. Bruce will not be on the stream for tonight. He has technical difficulties. I'm saying this because a lot of people on this stream come from Bruce Cesal channel. He's estimating that he should be back around August 10th or around there. What else here? I do have an update from my brother, Bruce Cesal. We're going to do a little bit of teaching and again, review. Every Monday, we're going to be reviewing. This is in case there's new people coming that are not aware. And it's also good to repeat over and over the same thing for you guys so that you guys become educated enough to pass the information along and help other people. Just going to stop the share screen here for a moment. I'm going to pop up, where did I put my phone? Here. I'm just going to pop up the live stream, make sure that I can see what's going on the screen in case I forget to share screen or something like that. And it'll give people enough time to show up. Forget to share screen. All right. Hey, Kai, glad you're here. Thanks, Darla. So there's the Patreon link that's right above, and Kai is here. So we got the 2 wrench masters that are here. Hopefully some people will show up soon. I'm gauging like 7:30. Try and keep these things to about an hour and a half. Gonna talk, like I said, I'm gonna repeat myself for newcomers or just for people that are regularly coming here, just so that they understand by repetition, and then they can help other people. I will, after the short teaching, if there's people that are either interested in doing this type of diet, there's a wide variety of options. Like I said, from low carb, keto to carnivore and fasting. These things can be mixed up as well. What else? All right. So if we're talking about the ketogenic diet, what we're doing is we are drastically reducing the carbohydrates. I'm going to pop up on one of my PowerPoint presentations a keto list for grocery. So it's at least a visual to see what you're allowed to eat and what you should not eat. I lost around 50 pounds 5 years ago on a ketogenic diet, and I also implemented one meal a day. So it was 1 to 2 meals ketogenically, and I also did a couple of 3 to 5 day fasts. Kai says I was fasted to be here. Turn on the tube, got noticed, and clicked on 30 seconds ago. Hey, Jules from Southern Oregon. All right, guys, let's just jump in right away. Like I said, again, this is my Patreon page. We're going to jump to the what to eat and what not to eat list. Being visual, it's a little bit easier for people to kind of understand. Some people are not even aware, like, well, what's a carbohydrate? Everybody knows what sugar is, and often people will say, like, oh no, I don't eat sugar. They're thinking of white sugar. They're not understanding that carbohydrates are simple and complex, yet they are glucose molecules. And white sugar is, I think it's a mixture of, is it glucose and fructose? I'll have to look at that. All right. Just want to make sure this is popping up right. Just let me know if you see the keto food list and keto foods to avoid. Did I press pause on my thing? Just give me a sec. Sorry, guys. All right, so the list is up here. Okay, so for beginners that have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to avoiding carbohydrates and concentrating mostly on protein and fat from animal food. A ketogenic diet, the way I do it, if you look on websites and stuff like that, they're very specific with the macronutrients, like take this many grams of carbs, this many grams of fat and stuff like that. I don't do that for a ketogenic diet. I let you know where carbohydrates are, what they are, to restrict those to about 20 grams, which is very, very low. And I tell you to eat when you're hungry. Don't eat when you're not hungry. Don't follow this 3 meals a day. Start the ketogenic diet. And once the ketogenic diet is started, it takes about 2 weeks for you to kind of adapt to the transition. Most of us are either doing a junk food diet, which is high in carbohydrates, as well as high in seed oil fats. Or so what we're trying to do here is I'm telling you, eat as much animal food as you want to satiety. There is a process of 2 weeks. People call it keto flu. They call it fat adaptation, keto adaptation. Like I said, we're either eating a standard American diet, junk food diet, and at best, often people are doing a low-fat, high-carbohydrate diet and exercising more and really concentrating on calorie restriction. I'm not saying that in a ketogenic diet that there isn't a calorie restriction. It's just that when you're starting with a low-fat, high-carb diet, they are telling you to count calories and to consciously restrict 500 calories, let's say, very often. And then they tell you to move more. Obviously, if you're going to do exercise, if you're going to move more, you will burn more calories. I concentrate on exercise being more fitness, because you could be very, very sedentary. Therefore, you won't have fit cardio or anything like that, but you can still maintain if you're using a human appropriate diet, which is a lot lower in carbohydrates and a lot more ample in animal foods. So I do encourage exercise, but you cannot exercise or outrun a bad diet, meaning, yeah, I'm going to do a lot of exercise, but I'm loading up on tons of carbohydrates and I'm avoiding fat like the plague because that's what they tell me to be healthy. Studies have been done, and a low-fat, higher carb diet, when you're trying to lose weight, you will constantly feel hungry, especially sometimes within a year. Your body starts telling you, because you're restricting, that it is hungry. Also, you're not supplying really the fat that's necessary and the protein that's necessary to actually build your body. In a low-fat diet that is higher in carbs, you're also lacking a lot of the fat-soluble vitamins, because they're telling you to avoid butter, to avoid saturated fat in animal food. So they're really confusing us with that. You end up having, eating mostly carbs. Your body does not build anything with carbohydrates. It's strictly jet fuel. It's fuel. It's calories. It's energy. And then once you're doing this low-fat diet, very often they're encouraging you to consume seed oils or other oils and stuff like that instead of the animal food. This is not based on any science. Nutrition science is a load of garbage, and it is used by corporations and the economy for us to eat a wide variety of foods. And this is actually, if you look at nutrition and physical degeneration, this is not how people ate. They didn't have every single possible kind of food that we see in a grocery store. Don't forget that the fruits and vegetables that you see in your grocery store are genetically modified. These are not what God created, kind of thing. These are not the original plants that our ancestors consumed. Not to mention, they're made to have less fiber, to be much more higher in sugar content. That's not just for fruits. The wheat has been modified as well to lower the amount of bran in it and to increase the carbohydrate content. So trying to incorporate all of these beans, then grains, and then they tell you to eat some vegetables, then they tell you to eat fruits. You're just loading up on sugar or glucose, whatever you want to call it, carbohydrates. And this has nothing to do with rebuilding your body. Your body's made of fat, protein, cholesterol, and the fat soluble vitamins that are required are not found in any of the plant food. The plant food has a version of these of some vitamins, but they are often precursors. There's issues with people's ability to convert them into active forms. When you're eating animal food, you really don't have to understand the science at all. I understand that a lot of people are coming as well from just shopping in the middle section of the grocery store, which is all basically wheat, soy, high fructose corn syrup, oils that are high in omega-6. They're rancid, they're easily oxidized. So if somebody is fat and sick and already consuming inside, in the grocery store, I will encourage you guys to eat the outside of the grocery store. So if you notice the middle, if there's something in a box, chances are it's probably not good for you. Probably not. I wouldn't even say chances are it's not good for you. Right down to the brown bread. The brown bread is not what our great grandparents were consuming in homemade bread and stuff like that. Even that has seed oil, and even though it looks brown, it's pretty much wheat that's highly processed, and it's going to be too much. They're telling you to eat the grains, the beans, the fruits, and the legumes almost with every meal. It's just sugar. Sometimes, if you're looking at the beans and stuff like that, there's ample sugar, and vegans or vegetarians that are concentrating on beans as a way of getting protein and stuff like that. It's always coupled with a lot of sugar. And it's not only about how much you weigh, it's also about body composition. So just by switching, and instead of having the majority of your food being strict carbohydrates, that's fuel, just by switching it and consuming more animal food that is bioavailable, digestible fats and proteins. So if you're going on the outside of the grocery store, you're going to hit your fruits and vegetables, if somebody's obese and just loading up on all sorts of other carbohydrates and processed, just switching, even if you're not limiting the fruits and vegetables already, you're going to seek benefits. Then after you have the meat, the pork, the dairy, the cheeses. So the outside of the grocery store, just starting to do that. Anything that's in a box, avoiding, you're well on your way. The other thing is, not going to concentrating on this during those streams, but the World Economic Forum, the large corporations and stuff like that are really strangling family-owned farms like JD, for example, my friend Garland Farms. So once you get your health in order and you're able to go out and start looking for grass-fed ruminant animals, that means, milk, butter that's grass-fed, all the ruminant animals, or pigs that aren't just gorging on grains, or chickens that aren't gorging on grains. You see that they're feeding grain to every single animal. It might make them fat, but it makes the nutrient content and the omega-6, the levels a lot higher. So we do have essential fatty acids that the body requires because it can't use other fats to fabricate it. Those are omega-3 as well as omega-6. If you're eating animal food, especially back in the day when we were eating animal food that was by local farmers outside, eating grass like ruminant animals were supposed to be doing, the nutrient profile was a lot better. So even if we're avoiding over here, all of these nasty seed oils, we're still consuming ruminant animals that have a higher omega-6 content. I think that you'll still reap tons of benefit, but I want to go one step further and I want you to advocate. I have to get these websites that JD from Garland Farms gave me twice now, and I just I lost track of them. But this is in the United States. I think it's called Eat Wild. It is basically a not inventory, but it's a list of farmers that are raising animals ethically all throughout the United States. And JD even showed my area in Canada. So you should think about this down the road. If you're starting from the grocery store, I want you to get healthy as soon as possible. But I also want you to advocate, because our food system is under attack. And the minute that the family farms will be, phased out, just by the way, basically they're screwing them over. Find it, just by the way, for example, grass-fed cows. For the farmer that's doing that, they're going to try and bring that to market, and there's almost like no incentive, like the amount of cost that they're raising the cow, they're hardly making any profit and stuff, and that's how they're manipulating. So just keep that in mind. Future streams on Monday, I promise you I will get those websites, and I'd like you guys to spread the word around there. Don't forget that if there's questions and you're not just chatting with your friends in the comment section, please put cap locks. Then I know that it might be a specific question. Okay, so for ketogenic diet, it's very simple. I'm telling you to avoid these foods while you're trying to lose weight. So the fruits, okay, dried fruits, apples, banana, grapes, and things like that should be avoided. What we can occasionally consume is berries. That's what I suggest. There's nuts and seeds as well that you can consume, but watch out, you can easily grab handfuls of peanuts and have thousands, hit over 1,000 calories just by scarfing these barbecue peanuts and stuff like that. So when it comes to fruits and nuts, I suggest that that be occasionally, and that you keep in mind that, we're trying during the weight loss phase in a ketogenic diet to limit the carbohydrates to around 20-30 grams. There is also a carnivore approach, which is basically a ketogenic diet, but you're not eating any fruits, you're not eating any nuts, and you're not eating any vegetables. If you like your vegetables, there's no problem on a ketogenic diet. Feel free to eat, to me, as much vegetables as you want. Just watch out for vegetables that are high in starch, so like potatoes, yams, and things like that during weight loss phase. They're chains of sugar, glucose, and you can end up consuming a significant amount of carbohydrates, which, if you're in a ketosis, you can get away with one day, but that day don't think that you're going to be losing any significant amount of weight. And it can take about, 46 to 36 hours to go through that little store of glucose from all those starchy vegetables. So yeah, take it easy on that. If you notice as well here, we're not touching any of the canola, corn oil, soybean oil, something called vegetable oils. Don't think that you're getting fancier. Well, I can see it. I consume sunflower seed oil and stuff like that. Just lay off the oils. Get your fats naturally in the ample amount of animal food that you are going to eat to satiety. So these fats, extra fats that you can consume, are butter, ghee, tallow, heavy whipping cream that you can put sometimes, let's say, in your coffee, eggs. There is coconut, avocado, and MCT oil. I'm not going to talk about medium chain triglyceride oils unless you're using that for medical reasons, which we're not getting into. But the coconut oil you can use. Avocado, they talk about avocado oil as having a higher smoke point, meaning it doesn't oxidize when heated. If you're doing avocado or olive oil, put that, if you'd like, on your vegetables or a salad. Do not cook at all with any of these oils. I don't care if it's olive or avocado. You're going to want to use more saturated fat to cook anything that you want to saute, or what you usually would. Make sure that this is a cast iron pan. Don't use Teflon. Teflon is poisonous. It's going to seep into your food, and it's just another thing that they're not telling us about that's killing us. Sorry, I have like chapped lips, but like on both sides. I'm like constantly going like that. Also, remember, I just said that even the meats that you're consuming are still somewhat higher in saturated fat, higher in omega-6. So what I do suggest is that you eat sardines. That'll really help, because sardines are higher in omega-3. So if you like sardines, make sure that sardines in a can are in fresh water. All the other stuff, it's some form of seed oil. Like I said, olive oil, avocado oil, I have nothing against that. But the problem is that companies are tainting them and adding these cheaper plant fats. And therefore, you don't even know if the olive oil that you're consuming is actually olive oil. A lot of these fats have like almost no taste because they're so processed. So you can like half soybean oil of this thing and half olive oil, and you'll still have the olive oil taste. So watch out about that. Like I said, fish oils and stuff like that, get it not from these fish oil supplements. Get it from cod liver in a can in its own oil. Is a amazing way of really amping up the omega-3 that you're consuming. Let's say 1 can of sardines is about 1.5 grams of omega-3. which is really good. But a can of cod liver in its own oil is 15 grams. So it's like almost like 12 times. So eating regularly cod liver in can really help in normalizing and balancing out your omega-6 to omega-3 ratios. So the beginner list, look guys, anything that's animal food you can eat. Use drink water, seltzers, Perrier water and stuff like that, coffee, tea, bone broth. Watch out, store-bought bone broth will usually have actually seed oils in it. So if you're going to make bone broth, make it yourself, and just keep aware that make sure that the bone broth is from a good quality meat, because you could be doing bone broth with crap mass produced meats, and there can be actually toxins and stuff like that. So I think we went pretty much through the do's and don'ts. Carnivore diet, it's eating all of the animal food here, avoiding pretty much the same thing as a ketogenic diet, but you're not consuming fruits or vegetables as well. If you are doing a carnivore diet, it's okay as an exclusion diet. That's usually what I'll consider somebody going like strict carnivore, is if you're fat and sick and you have all of these modern day ailments, aches, pains, whatever, somewhat autoimmune issues, psoriasis, skin issues, all sorts of stuff that the doctors really are maybe just giving creams or pills for, not going to the root cause. So if you want to lose weight and you want to see if there are certain foods in your diet, primarily the plant foods, that are causing your immune system to have all sorts of reactions, inflammation, rashes, and migraine, anything, it's worth doing for a month a very strict carnivore diet, which would be beef, primarily. Like, try and get fatty beef if you can, even if it's just ground beef, and salt and water. If you want to, if you're not feeling good and you're sick, like, try it out. This will give you the same benefits of weight loss as a ketogenic diet, but you're eliminating a lot of the plant products that may be causing reactions in your body, low-grade chronic reactions, and it's worth a shot. A lot of the fruits, a lot of the vegetables, beans, and grains, these are all sprayed with all sorts of chemicals. So this is not like, back in the day when there's local farms and stuff like that. People, don't want to eat a fruit or vegetable that has a little defect in it. So they're trying to sell you products with all sorts of chemicals to make sure that these things look shiny and pristine. Again, not that healthy. Just going to go back to the comments. Kai, thanks Jules for showing up. Guggen Slayer, I can let you on in a little while, buddy, if you'd like to come up. Jason, Darla says, Jason, I like kefir. Is it carnivore kefir grains? I don't think that the kefir has any grains. I think it's just fermented dairy. I know you live close to me. If you would go to, what's it called? There is in Ontario a place where it's basically full of local produce and stuff like that, and they have grass-fed kefir. It really tastes a lot different. Often, don't forget, kefir might taste like strawberry fermented stuff. So that's just sugar. So make sure to have just the plain kefir. man, it's getting on my nerves. There is a place that has a lot of grass-fed stuff. It'll come to me eventually. So yes, technically, a carnivore diet is anything that is animal source nutrition. When I'm talking about a very, very restrictive carnivore diet, that is an exclusion diet. But technically, what I do is I'll eat any source of animal food. Often I don't have vegetables. I'm not worried about not having vegetables. I know that if I'm eating animal food, we're getting all of the nutrients required for the carnivore diet. After, let's say, a month or two, um, and you are seeing improvements, if you want to continue on a very strict carnivore diet, kind of like Jordan Peterson and Michaela Peterson, me personally, I would add liver, beef liver. Liver has vitamin C. So I don't think that we need to be like religious about this, trying to prove a point that we can, oh, we can live on steaks only, even though supposedly there are people that have been doing this for years that have it. Um, I think that skimping on the vitamin C just to prove a point. I think that adding some berries and stuff like that on a ketogenic diet, broccoli, most of the vegetables are going to give you vitamin C. But if you're really avoiding all plant material, please add liver to your diet, just to have that extra vitamin C. And that's pretty much it. So I've never done like months and months of a strict carnivore diet, but I call it like animal based keto. I can go days, sometimes, 14 days without any fruits or vegetables, but then I'll just add fruits and vegetables once in a while. I'm not dogmatic about it. The most important is just to understand what the food that you're taking in, what does it do hormonally, how does it affect insulin, and how is fat created, how can we use body fat. A lot of that is about keeping your insulin low. So a ketogenic diet that is very, very restrictive in carbohydrates. Carbohydrates have the greatest insulin response, and protein as well has an insulin response, but a lot less than carbohydrates. And fat really doesn't. You could say it doesn't really spike at all your insulin. Um, let's go to the rest. I'm basically ripped in under 8 months with this diet. Yeah, G Slayer, stick around if you can, because I'm going to have you on again. Bruce is not on, but I will give an update. Hey, Lisa. Uh, all right. Yeah, just make sure to put cap locks. What is your opinion on stevia? If possible, get your palate used to no artificial sweeteners. That being said, stevia is the only one that I use. I still put stevia in my coffee. I made a mistake at one point of trying it and got myself hooked a little bit on it. So me personally, haven't looked into it, but I know that my wife has stevia leaves that her sister grows, and just the leaves in the backyard, she puts it, and just it floating on the top sweetens quite well. So, of all the other sweeteners, I'm not comfortable with any of them. Aspartame, to a certain degree, turns into formaldehyde. So, if you need to, until I research it, I would say, stevia is acceptable. Lisa says raw sugar is brown I think she's right. Sugar cane and stuff like that. So white is processed more. I don't see though any difference health wise, brown or white. I think it's still sugar, and it'll still spike your insulin if you take too much. It can do the exact same thing as a white sugar. But you are correct that white is even more processed. Um, Darla said, Jason, I Googled and they speak of kefir grains. Could you check for me? Yeah, I'll check into that. I know, pretty sure natural kefir is really just fermented dairy. Now, what the dairy cow consumed as well will influence it. So that's why when I went over, you must know, Darla, in Ontario, there is a farmer something. Oh, Farm Boy. That's what it's called. There's one, I think, in Cornwall, there at least. Farm Boy. That's it. So Farm Boy has a lot of grass-fed stuff. It's a little expensive, but there's a big difference between the grass-fed kefir that's a lot sweeter. I'm talking about just like the plain one, and the kefir that we get at our grocery stores. Um, yeah, so Rod is thinking about as well vitamin C. I have nothing against, like I said, having some berries once in a while. Um, Vitamin C, you can get, let's say, from berries. You can get it from vegetables. If you're doing a carnivore diet, then make sure that, in my opinion, you're adding liver. And liver is not only beneficial just for the vitamin C. Liver is a superfood. The vitamin D content, but it is a superfood. I would say eggs, liver, and cod liver in a can, and in its own oil are the three superfoods that I think everyone should add. All right. So we're doing this till 7:30. We started at 6, so it's 6:35. So I do want to talk a little bit about autophagy, and all right. So let's present. I want to talk about autophagy. I did a little bit when Bruce was on, but we were like in this like continuous discussion, which is fine. So it was like I was reading a little bit, then we'd go on a tangent and stuff like that. So I want to make sure that everybody understands autophagy. Um, when you're doing intermittent fasting, there's a small amount probably of autophagy occurring. And when you're doing, prolonged fast past 24 hours, this mechanism that occurs during fasting, autophagy, which is a healing process that you can benefit from if you're having any sickness, any illness. There is, look, I'm not making medical claims, but please look into it, especially if you know somebody with, well, pretty much a lot of things, but especially um, Alzheimer's and certain forms of cancer. Like I said, I hope I don't get blocked on this because it is medically true. Even people that are doing chemotherapy, I'm not telling you to stop conventional forms of treatment for cancer, but next time I'm going to pop up, I'll try and find it. Even a 48-hour fast prior to chemotherapy will have a really a good result on the cancer cells, being attacked. You're putting a stress on the cancer cells. You're also giving 48 hours where your body does recognize what's abnormal, that what's cancerous, and what is not. So there is a study that I'll try and find. A 48-hour fast prior to chemotherapy may give you an extra weapon against cancer. Me personally, not saying anything medical, but if I had cancer, I would be fasting like for days and days and days. There is I forget who the guy's name is, but in his research, and he's a biochemist and stuff like that, big book on cancer being largely a metabolic disease. You have mitochondria; these are like kind of the powerhouses within our cells, and it appears that there's evidence that the mitochondria in cancer cells, because obviously these are cells that are fast replicating, but they're abnormal. And one aspect of it being abnormal is these power generators in there. So that's how the mitochondria in each cell, the mitochondria is what converts calories and stuff into energy. It seems like a lot of cancer cells work well with glucose as a fuel, and many do not do well with ketones and fat as a fuel. So if you're doing fasts, you're activating this healing process. And if you're keeping yourself ketogenic as well, you are feeding easily all of your other cells with ketones and fat, but you're giving a little bit more hard time for the cancer cells. I'm not giving medical advice. Go research what I just said on your own. So autophagy, what you need to know. Sorry, I'm still trying to quit nicotine replacement. I always get criticized about this. Sometimes I'll leave the camera. I'll be like, just a minute, guys. And then after I'll like spray and shame, and I'll come back like a big hypocrite. And then after I notice when I rewatched a video that you see me leave, and all of you hear is like, shh, 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 which, well, is funny. So autophagy, what you need to know. This is medically reviewed by Daniel Morel, MD. Autophagy is a natural self-preservation mechanism whereby the body removes damaged or dysfunctional parts of a cell and recycles other parts towards cellular repair. Autophagy is the body's way of cleaning out damaged cells in order to regenerate newer, healthier cells, according to Coranda, PhD, in nutrition education from Columbia University. Auto means self, and phagy means to eat. That's why it's esophagus. So the literal meaning of autophagy is self-eating. Sounds horrible, but it is beneficial. Your body needs to eat up some of the garbage. It's like going to the hardware store and you decide to renovate your kitchen. And what you do is you buy all this new great stuff and you start like nailing it on top of the old kitchen. Not going to look good, not going to work well. So we seem to be scared of not eating, as if we're going to like eat every single beneficial thing, including our muscles, which is just a darn lie. So if you want to renovate your body, you do have to allow your body to remove old things, to remove debris. And this is called a catabolic state. Most often, if we're following the standard diet, we're like getting up, we're breaking our fast immediately, hence breakfast. We're eating a breakfast, usually something like toast, bagel, cereals, skim milk. It's all sugar. You've supplied absolutely nothing. You've just broken your fast and you've loaded yourself with sugar. If your last meal was spaghetti or bread and stuff like that, you're already loaded with sugar. So you get up in the morning, you break your fast for nothing. You load up with all of these grainy stuffs and skim milk and stuff because supposedly, bacon, eggs, sausage, ham, table cream, things like that, that our ancestors or at least our great grandparents ate, and they seem pretty slim. But no. Now that is bad. It will make you die. this breakfast, the most important meal of the day, which is a load of manure, um, you start that, you're hungry. It stokes your appetite in many people. And then after, you might have a snack. Then after, you'll have a breakfast on some brown bread, right? Fruit juice, maybe another fruit, something like that. So more sugar. Then after, you'll have another stack, so you can make it till supper. Then you'll have supper, and again, it'll probably be a large amount of carbohydrates. And then a lot of people end up once in a while. Maybe they succeed a couple of days, but they end up maybe having evening snack while they're watching TV. So basically, you've eaten all throughout the day. You've let maybe 2, 3, at maximum 5 hours pass. This means that your body never gets into a catabolic self-eating mechanism. We only get that like 8 hours while we're sleeping. At best, you better eat in 8 hours, and for 16 hours, this is what intermittent fasting is. It's not really fasting from food, it's time restriction. It's saying, instead of like eating all throughout the day, why don't you try and eat for the day? And that's where animal food with the animal protein, the animal fat, does have a reaction on satiety hormones. You do not have that reaction when you're just like mostly going with carbohydrates. So it's also referred to as self-devouring. While that may sound like something you never want to happen to your body, it's actually beneficial to overall health. This is because autophagy is an evolutionary self-preservation mechanism through which the body can remove the dysfunctional cells. It can recycle parts of them towards cellular repair and cleansing. According to, board certified cardiologist, Dr. Petre. The doctor continues and explains that the purpose of autophagy is to remove debris and self-regulate back to optimal smooth functioning. A perfect example is my brother that was doing 7-day fast and refeeding 7-day fast, losing 70 pounds easily in a very rapid fashion. But his eye condition that was a significant problem for my brother improved drastically during this weight loss period, where he was fasting 7 days. He was doing it safely. He was drinking water when he was thirsty, not skimping on water and not overdoing it on water, which overdoing it on water can make you pee like a racehorse, and you can actually lower some of your electrolytes. Those who do prolonged fast longer than 48 hours, I think it's safe to take a Centrum vitamin. Magnesium sulfate can help, and potassium tablets. You'll have a little bit of potassium as well in your Centrum vitamin, but usually it's a Centrum vitamin. Vitamin C, if you're planning on doing a lot of fasting, I'd rather just play it safe that way. People that like pickle juice, very often pickle juice, the brine, the juice in there is high in sodium and potassium. So I have somebody I want to get on here eventually, my friend Peter, that recently did a 24-hour fast. He's done in the past 24-hour fast, and he's talked with the doctor, and every single time he's fasted, his joints feel amazing. He feels amazing, and we'll just leave it at that. We'll go on with I want to get through this article from Healthline. So the good doctor explains that the purpose of autophagy is to remove debris and self-regulate back to optimal smooth functioning. It is a recycling and cleansing at the same time. So if you have a lot of fat on you and you're not eating at all, where are you starving? You have ample stores of vitamins. You're not going to get vitamin depleted, in a couple of days, especially if you're doing this fasting prolonged but you're taking essential vitamin, you're taking some magnesium sulfate, you're keeping up with your sodium and your potassium. That's all you got to really, concentrate on. And then after, so you have the electrolytes, that's not a problem now. You have plenty of calories. It's like we get nervous. Oh, you're going to starve yourself. Yeah, but you're fat. So if you have fat on you, then it means that where's the calories being starved? You're finally accessing the energy stored onto your body. And because most of us have never fasted at all, ever, all of this autophagy is recycling the proteins, the enzymes that are required. So your body can really recycle a lot of its components before you become deficient in proteins and things like that. So your body is designed to go through periods of food scarcity or famine, just like any other mammal out there in the wild. So what are the benefits of autophagy? The main benefit of autophagy seems to come in the form of anti-aging principles. Go see my brother on Bruce C's All. Go see his live streams from like 4 months ago and go see his latest live stream. Not only has he lost weight, you can tell that his complexion's better. When I was doing my videos, I was looking at pictures of me, let's say when I had lost all that weight 10 years ago, and then what I looked like 5 years ago. So there's like a 10-year period. I might be crazy or deluded or delusional here, but I literally looked 10 years ago older than I did when I first lost weight. And that's because of the autophagy, the cleansing period, the satiety that occurs with a ketogenic diet, with a carnivore diet. Again, you probably will end up losing weight. And one aspect of that is the calorie restriction. It's just that a low fat, high carb diet, they tell you to count and consciously restrict your calories. Here in a carnivore or ketogenic diet, you are unknowingly, just because you have so much more satiety and no more cravings for the sugar, you're naturally going to reduce your calorie intake. I don't deny that. But because you're eating more fat and more protein over time, you're not only losing weight, but you're actually giving for once and for all what your body requires, what it's built of. So you may be losing weight, and sometimes you may stall or even put on some weight. That might like get you discouraged. No, you might be just improving your body composition. You're giving your body ample amount of building blocks and material because you're eating all that animal food and fat and cholesterol. That's what you're built of. You should be eating the majority of your food that way. And when it comes to using an alternate fuel such as carbohydrate, you should use that strategically. And it is beneficial if you know what it does, what the purpose of it is, and when you should or should not consume it. When you're losing weight, every day that you're carbing up is a day that you're likely not losing weight. If you want to do a less restrictive carbohydrate reduction diet, like low carb, 50, 100 grams, you'll still be able to benefit from that. But it's going to be a lot slower than a carbohydrate diet like keto or carnivore, where it's really, really restrictive. And some people, they can moderate their carbohydrates. Me personally, if I start consuming 50 to 100 grams of carbohydrates, I have kind of this addictive, I have an addiction to carbohydrates. I cannot moderate it. So I prefer standing away, standing off, once in a while indulging, and then returning, not thinking that like an alcoholic or something, like, oh yeah, I can moderate my alcohol intake. That's how I am. Also, there are people that have insulin resistance, metabolic dysfunction. So a ketogenic diet or carnivore diet and then incorporating fasting is the best way of rebooting your metabolism. It's the quickest way of dealing with insulin resistance, diabetes. Insulin resistance is diabetes. It's just diabetes is a severe case. So the main benefits of autophagy seem to come in the form of anti-aging principles. In fact, it's best known as the body's way of turning the clock back, creating younger cells. Kurana points out that when our cells are stressed, autophagy is increased in order to protect us, which helps enhance your lifespan. While you're in a weight loss period, even during a fasting period, a little bit of resistance training, a little bit of exercise is good as well. So not overdoing it, especially when fasted, but a little bit of, getting your body going, a little bit of push-ups, squats or something like that is good during weight loss periods. It also increases autophagy because you are, in a way, forcing and breaking down muscle fibers. And it also gives an extra signal to your body while you're losing weight that, hey, I'm still using the muscles. So it's tissue that I'm using, and don't take it away. Additionally, registered dietitian, not that I respect any registered dietitian, but says that in times of starvation, autophagy keeps the body going by breaking down cellular material and reusing it for necessary processes. Of course, this takes energy and cannot continue forever, but it gives us more time to find nourishment, he adds. At a cellular level, the benefits of autophagy include removing toxic proteins from the cells that are attributed to neurodegenerative diseases such as Parkinson's and Alzheimer's disease, recycling residual proteins, providing energy and building blocks for cells that could still benefit from repair. And on a larger scale, it prompts regeneration of healthy cells. Autophagy is receiving a lot of attention for its role it may play in preventing and treating cancer too. The problem is that there's no money in not eating. So when they talk about looking at, science looking at it, I guarantee you they're not like, yes, science says you should listen and just not eat anymore for a while. They're going to look at the natural process of autophagy, and they're going to try and make pills that hamper with it, and then do these tests and say, look, it improves. Yeah, I know, but you could stop with the pharmaceuticals completely and just actually allow autophagy the way the body runs automatically. I guarantee you they're not going to be talking about fasting. They'll be using medications that play with the mechanism of autophagy. I'm sure of it. Autophagy declines as we age. So this means cells that no longer work or may do harm are allowed to multiply, which is the MO of cancer cells. So we got these people like, oh yeah, red meat and processed meats causes cancer, this, that. Plus, there's no cause. It says increased risk or associations which don't prove causation. No one's talking about fruits and vegetables having tons of chemicals on it. No one's talking about a low carb, high fat diet that makes you hungry all the time. Then after you're doing low fat, high carb, then you are restricting calories, but you're exercising, which will actually just make you hungrier. That doesn't occur with low carb. While all cancers start from some sort of defective cells, this physician says that the body should recognize and remove those cells, often using autophagic processes. That's why some researchers are looking at the possibility that autophagy may lower the risk of cancer. While there's no scientific evidence to back this up, right, because they're not doing the studies. But they do studies to make us believe that red meat's going to rot our bum, rot our rectum. Then after they redact it, but you still see these social media feeds, discouraging animal food, discouraging all sorts of the most healthy and nutritious animal foods that our ancestors thrived on. All of a sudden, it's killing us. Yeah, well, the Petre says some studies suggest that many cancerous cells can be removed through autophagy. This is just my opinion. I have any of these diseases pop up, I'm fasting. Especially, imagine you're like, oh, you have metastatic cancer. Nothing we can do. You're going to die. Okay, I'm not eating. Last ditch effort, I'm not eating. I'm going to die anyways. So that would be my last ditch effort. Yeah, well, you know what? I'm going to starve this cancer. And that's what I would do. This is how the body polices the cancer villains, she explains, recognizing and destroying what went wrong and triggering and repairing mechanisms does contribute to lowering the risk of cancer. Researchers believe that new studies will lead to insight that will help them target autophagy as a therapy for cancer. All right, that's all I had to say about that. Just want to show you guys, and then here, I'm going to put the link on. If you are interested in one of these types of regimes, then you're free to come on. If you're following this, or you're interested, or you have questions, you're invited on the panel. We're going to stick to the topic. The topic is low carb, keto, carnivore, and fasting. And yeah, so there is the link. I just want to show you guys. As I said before, it's very repetitive. I try and make things new. Add a little topic here and there, so we build on it. But I just want you to know that if you're first following on these streams, that I started these streams roughly 2 months ago. I titled this Ketogenic Diet Basics, Episode 1. Here's again, Ketogenic Diet live stream. Monday, I should change these always to the same title, but I keep on switching it up. But anyways, you always see keto fasting live stream over here, over here. So if you scroll through a lot of my live streams, you'll fall on previous keto streams. There's another one. There's another one. All right. And if you scroll down to videos, the oldest ones that I have. Here you go. So here I just pretty much talk about electrolytes, but you just heard me talk about that. This is a good, well edited. These videos I used to like do with KindMaster on my phone. Snapshot, copy, paste, and so they're well done. This is kind of a basic for ketogenic diets. Here I talk about toxic vegetable oils. Guys, please, please, please avoid that. So my channel used to be Fast Keto Prime. It was strictly fasting and a ketogenic diet. And then after here, eventually I changed it to Jason John Swartz. Mondays are always going to be this keto and fasting and carnivore stuff. Every morning, almost, I'm Christian, so I do a daily bread. So every morning I'm kind of focusing on our spiritual body, and Mondays we focus on making our physical bodies healthy. Here I was already talking about fasting and ketosis for Alzheimer's. I mentioned that a ketogenic diet is beneficial as well for epilepsy. Here I go into a grocery store and I show you all of the seed oils in the middle section of the the store. And you can look at omega-6. I talk about omega-3s, and pretty much we're still talking about strictly diet stuff over here. It continues. I do debunking veganism as well. This is when the channel started getting a little bit more variety. Over here in 30 days, I went strict carnivore. That was like ground beef, water, and salt. And I lost 11 pounds in 30 days. Then after 2 more days, I lost an extra pound here. If you have any psych meds tend to cause a lot of diabetes, metabolic issues. It's almost impossible to lose weight on some of these psych meds. If you are obese, a lot of people with psych meds, they end up stopping their medication, even when it works well for them. And that's because they get frustrated with how much weight that they're putting on. So if you want to continue your psych meds, but don't feel like packing on pounds and pounds and pounds, I suggest that you try a ketogenic, carnivore, or low carb. And that's pretty much it, guys. So hopefully Guggen Slayer, is he there? No one is biting. Copy. Does anybody want to come on? I don't know if G Slayer is still with us. I'm gonna go up, see if there's any questions. I am Kai is talking about having a seizure. So if you go look at Epilepsy Foundation, you'll see that they do advocate for a ketogenic diet. Ketone levels have an anticonvulsant effect. And if you add a ketogenic diet, then I would suggest, to help prevent seizures, that you would add MCT oil, maybe a teaspoon initially 3 times a day. You could also benefit from the MCT oil and exogenous ketones that you can get at a supplement store, which is basically powder, and you consume it and it's ketones. So people that are trying to have a ketogenic diet to perhaps supplement their medical treatment, perhaps medication, anticonvulsants, stuff like that. Never saying that it can replace that. You work with your doctor for that. But people with convulsions or seizures can benefit from a higher ketone level. Most of the time, if you're following a ketogenic diet, you're going to hover around 0.4 to 0.8 millimoles per liter. And sometimes if you look on Canadian labs, 0.4 and below is normal. So you might have higher ketone levels during the adaptive period, but over the months of being in ketosis, your body and your mitochondria, those energy centers, become more and more efficient at using the ketones that you're producing. So the ketones actually don't raise very much. For me, it was like 0.4, 0.6. And I was in ketosis. So it seemed like as my body was producing the ketones, it was consuming them. When somebody does prolonged fasts, sometimes it'll go from 3 millimoles per liter up to 5. Usually doesn't go higher than 5. That's no problem at all. But that means that if you're doing a ketogenic diet, and you're hovering around 4 millimoles, like just very minimal ketone levels, though you're in ketosis, you might need to add MCT doses and maybe even exogenous ketones to keep that elevated a little bit more. So Jules is still in the motivating part, and that's okay. And just keep on going. We'll brainwash you. I'll get you into our cult. Don't worry. um, yeah, G Slayer is very satisfied with his results. 8 months. Most people that continue this will get to their ideal body weight. All right. I've heard Jason say if anybody has any questions to put them, yes, please put them in cap locks. Um, uh, Lisa, yeah, there is a shelf life. I think that by law they have to put a shelf life on everything. I ended up asking my mom. She goes to this place Costco, so it's cheaper. Ended up buying two of them. I was like, whoa, whoa, I don't take that much. So one of them's frozen. Um, Even past date, I have no issues with it. When it's past, what we use it for is just coconut oil. We'll put it on our skin for tanning. If you have a very, very good omega-6 to 3 ratio, you're consuming a lot of omega-3, you're avoiding the seed oils. You see in the keto and the keto forums where people talk, Facebook groups and stuff like that. When I started doing this, um, I do not burn. Like our ancestors used to be in fields. It used to be called like a farmer tan. It used to be extremely, extremely dark, and they didn't peel or anything like that. I'm not saying, hey, why don't you just put like oil on yourself and go burn yourself? I can't go against what they say causes skin cancer and stuff like that. But yeah, once in a while, my son as well has like tends to have like really dry skin. So once in a while, like we'll just he lathers himself up with a coconut oil, and then after like leaves it on for as long as possible outside, and it helps really make your skin smooth. But Lisa, yeah, there is an expiration date. Bacteria grows very well in fat too. I know the one that we were using, we were putting our hands in, developed a mole. So obviously, got to be careful, make sure things are clean. Cold press or processed olive. Lisa, I would say cold press. I didn't even know about processed olive oil. Definitely cold press is better. Processed, I'm assuming processed would be like they use a solvent like the other seed oils to extract. Cold press is optimal, but just keep in mind that these companies are very crooked, and they're adding seed oils, and not just like cheapo brands. They, like these consumer watchdog things and stuff like that. They buy all sorts of olive oil and they tested them in labs, and sometimes very expensive olive oil is like it has seed oil in it. All right. Yeah, I'd appreciate it if you put a thumbs up. Vitamin C has been something have thought about. So this in simple terms, vitamin C has the same entry point as glucose. So a high glucose or standard diet with a lot of glucose, the vitamin C that you consume is competing with all those carbohydrates to get in. So there is evidence that when we go to a much more keto, carnivore, very low carb diet, that in fact the body requires less because the entry point is not being competed with. What up, G Slayer? I'm just going through. You're live. You're on, man. Jason, I googled and they speak of kefir grains. Not sure. What does rest in peace, Pee Wee Herman? He died? Pee Wee Herman died? I didn't know that. Is your volume working, man? No, I can't hear you. He died at 70. Did he die in? Never mind. In a movie theater? G Slayer Guggen. It says a device not connected. We could see your picture. I just couldn't hear your voice. Yeah, so definitely look into some prolonged fasts and stuff like that. And think of it this way, guys. Imagine eating ketogenically, doing intermittent fasting for 5 days, and then after 5 days, you do a
Can you
48
hear me,
fast.
Jason?
Yeah, it works now, man.
Oh, really? I
Yeah,
put the
I
camera
can
on
hear you.
too.
Yeah, I'm just answering. Rod is talking about Alzheimer's being running in his family and stuff like that. So I would like highly, highly recommend some fasting. And if you have trouble not eating at all, like getting to 3 or 4 days fasting, you can say to yourself, try and fast without any food. But if you feel like, oh, I can't take this, I need to eat something, just eat a couple of strips of bacon or just an egg yolk or butter, something that is almost like only fat. And as far as the fasting benefits, it really like it mimics being fasting, so it really won't set you off. And if that's what you need, is a couple of strips of bacon just to continue the fast as a training method, I rather you eat a little bit of fat and be able to fast that way than never being able to get to like 48 hours or so. um,
48's such a good number.
yeah, and like think of it like if you're doing 5 days of intermittent fasting, then you're doing 2 days of like a 48-hour true fast. Like if you multiply that, it's like around 96 days out of the year that you're not eating. Like imagine like
At
three
what frequency?
months. Yeah, like if you
At
have
what frequency? 40, doing
if
48s. How
yeah,
many
like
times
five and two.
a
You
week?
know, like every 7 days you'll do like 5 days keto, eat as many meals as you want. People usually intermittent fast anyways.
Yeah, that's because
And
that'd
then
be more than maintenance. So that would allow you to eat a lot and be
yeah,
crazy active
yeah, yeah. But think of it,
because you'd
two
be probably
days.
at a deficit.
Yeah, probably. But that's why like you just eat when you're hungry. I find that your body will vary. Like I find like sometimes I do get hungrier and yeah, I'll eat when what I want. If I'm pretty sedentary. So if I'm actually doing work that's physical, like my appetite will go up and I'll eat more. But like somebody, let's say, who just wants to is following 5 days eating keto and 2 days like a 48-hour fast, that ends up being 4 8 uh, 4 8 12 16 days a month. Like you're literally at the end of the month you saved 3 months of food. That's why they wouldn't want to tell us.
Yeah.
Imagine
Oh,
if
yeah.
everyone was doing that.
It's, it's a
Grocery
powerful
store.
boycott.
Yeah, no,
Especially if
exactly.
it was organized, not just like if we all did it randomly. If it was organized, it's actually daggers into the
Yeah,
beast.
like
Literally.
no more
They're
grocery.
afraid of that. It's like the scene in the Bug's Life. What's a Bug's Life movie
I've
where
seen
it's like
that. Yeah,
Hopper explaining to like Hopper the grasshopper explaining to like his follower grasshoppers why they like control the ant population, why they take the grain from the ant, and
yeah,
all the other grasshoppers kind of like laugh at the
yeah,
fact that the ants are so weak, but Hopper knows that like the ants can like retaliate if they
yeah,
if they collectivize, and
yeah.
that goes back to the point of the fasting. And if we did it at the same time, we can like actually have boycott power. or
Yeah.
something like that. Something
Yeah.
like that.
And it's something that veganism can't do. They're always trying to
Yeah,
burn that stuff, but they're starved. Darla is asking, why do you think iodine salt is better than Redmond real salt? Um, this was a JD that brought that up to me, and he said very often we are deficient in iodine. We're just not getting enough iodine. So white iodized salt is like a supplement for iodine. Not that there's anything wrong with Redmond real salt, but watch out with the pink stuff because, like I said, they're so crooked. They're tainting the olive oil with seed oil, and I've seen reports where they're literally like they're dyeing it pink. Like there's
because
just,
it sells good because people
it
know it's
sells.
healthy
Exactly.
and it's expensive to mine and all that.
Yeah, yeah. So I use like a white salt now because I'm like, yeah, it's true. Like, look at iodine sources and stuff like that. There's probably a reason why they first put iodine in the white salt. Probably it's something that we're missing. Will is asking, I've heard that sea salt is good. Yeah, like salt is salt. As long as it's not
Mhm.
contaminated. I think that's why people talk about Redmond salt. I guess like people have confidence in that. Salt is salt as long as it's not contaminated. But then again, our waters are contaminated. So I'm not going to be like a um, extremist on salt. Take whatever you want.
It's so
But
important. You just need to take what you want, what's
yeah, like I'm
available.
not going to be
It's
like,
so
no,
important. It doesn't work without it.
yeah, exactly. Just like,
Being unhealthy doesn't work without it, but being healthy, you
yeah,
need it.
yeah, you need it because when we're doing low carb, our kidneys filter out the salt a lot more.
Oh, I have
And
something cool to add too. That's
eh?
new. I was learning a little bit about placebo effect, and taking the salted stuff will be part of the placebo and change your mind and make it work.
Yeah, I didn't read
Poss
up on that, but that's cool.
Oh, it's just like they do scientific experiments at
Yeah, yeah,
like colleges on placebo and what do they call it? The power of your mind
well, like,
with where they
yeah,
basically
yeah, if
they
you believe,
validate the power of prayer and the power of God. It's
yeah,
intense, but it's like buying salts, like starting your new fasting life routine, buying your salts and taking it.
yeah,
This is going to add to the placebo of it working already, and that like
yes,
has some weird, powerful change in your mind that like
you believe it. I
works.
mean,
It's weird. It
it's
worked with me. Part of it is placebo, and I think it works because once you get results, then the placebo starts like snowballing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but
Because there's so many
definitely.
variables too, you don't know what's working, what's not. You're
Well,
just
like
like,
think of like prior to all of these preservatives and stuff like that, like Indians and stuff like that. All of their food was like heavily, heavily salted because that was their only preservative. They weren't getting hypertension and headaches and stuff like that because the way uh, all I know is that if you're eating a low carb, low fat, high carb diet, you retain the salt in your body. Your kidney doesn't flush it out as fast. The minute you start going, like low
you could
carb,
tell.
yeah, like, and that's why during the adaptive period or this keto flu that people go through, you're losing a lot of water. Like my brother was a perfect example. He lost a lot of water weight, and on top of it, I think he was inflamed. He had like inflammation as well. That's how like unhealthy he was at that point. And so inflammation holds on to water and stuff like that. So when you start doing this, I mean, it's like you're just flushing out so much water, and that's just going to bring along a lot of electrolytes. It's not that it's not natural. It's just actually that we've been eating the wrong diet for so long that people feel bad, or they don't feel optimal for sometimes up to more than 2 weeks and stuff like that. Like I had dizziness, which was low sodium, for a good 3 weeks when I did it. Bruce didn't seem to have any issue. um, I'm just looking through. Yeah, while I look at the comments, man, just give us an update. Give us a little bit if there's new people, your story, how much you weighed, how long have you been doing this? Um,
Yeah, I've been on the muscle synthesis, body recomposition mode for a little bit now, but definitely see some good results.
okay.
I've definitely like I've graduated to where like the weight and the scale doesn't tell me too much. It tells me a good amount of information though. How I gauge my progress now is using the scale at a weight, but it's more so gauging my strength levels and then how I look in the
Yeah,
mirror, combine it with like a low weight, but not too low.
yeah,
So I constantly I like try to gain weight and then I fast it like all off while staying active, and then like
yeah.
you like keep the strength and the activity up, and then you get like good rest in, obviously.
Hmm.
And it's all kind of new to me because I've never really gotten this far in like building
Yeah,
muscle, building lean mass. So,
yeah,
but I'm building lean mass. You only see my head cut off right now, or whatever,
yeah,
but I'm looking pretty good.
yeah. Well,
I
we
still need to
we don't have the
build a
before and
little
after.
bit more out, but I'm like there. I'm at my like finishy
Yeah,
for like a normal person. The
that's
sport
it.
I do is like low intensity. I just like kayak fish, but I do
So that,
tournaments, so I'm pretty serious.
oh,
So it's fishing.
okay.
And I've been doing really well. I've been getting my placements. I've been getting placements, which is money.
Are you doing, let's say, modified? Let's say, uh, the the night before a competition or whatever that you're doing, you do have a carbohydrate meal because it would benefit you to have a full glycogen storage, and then go prior to the competition.
Nice, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because like
I eat
don't
the
do.
roasted potatoes with like
Okay,
a
good.
good amount of
Yeah, yeah,
fruit.
yeah.
Not every day, but yeah, some days I do that. Yeah, when I go on the water.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was in the
that's it.
water today. I was
Don't do it
pre-fishing for
before.
my tournament.
Yeah, don't do
I,
it before because it might make you actually feel sluggish. But make sure that you have a decent carved up meal if you know that you're gonna go like and
yeah,
be
I
physically
do. I do a meal prep too that night
good.
before.
Perfect.
But it's not always with carbs, but it's like it's like light starch vegetables.
Okay, sure. I mean, there's no
Like
danger
sugar,
of getting
like
fat.
pepper, onion or something with good amount of protein, and then
Yeah.
like low carb vegetables as well. So it's just
You could easily uh, do 50 grams to 100 grams the night before.
mm,
Believe me, like because with
definitely.
the keto and stuff like that, it never completely fills your glycogen tank. That you will produce like sugar,
Yeah,
gluconeogenesis can
I'm
use
not worried
growth.
about filling up. I go to the
Yeah,
gym and go. I want to go harder. I do pull-ups. I just got to like 7+ pull-ups, and I just started adding them into my workout.
nice.
I could do like
Oh, that's cool.
7 nice pull-ups.
Perfect.
I got I sprint. I do a quick sprint on incline. I used to do like 50 plus minutes on the treadmill. And I
Yeah.
and I didn't even slow down my metabolism. I would do 50 plus minutes like multiple times a week. Not even
Mhm.
know that could slow down your metabolism, and it didn't.
Yeah. No,
A
for
lot of
sure.
people
Like,
slow down their
especially if you want to
metabolism by
do.
doing keto and doing treadmill and stuff. I was doing that because I wanted to like grind the last bit off,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
worked.
Yeah. Like,
But people counter
you're,
signal that. So what are your thoughts?
Um, well, if you're looking for body composition and stuff like that, think of sprinters that do like 10 seconds of sprints. They're muscular, because they're bursting right
Yeah.
away. Long distance will. I hope JD doesn't call me out. He's more the sports nutritionist, but I know we have those
Yeah, I know.
fast
He hasn't
twitch,
been on in a while.
yeah, fast twitch and low and slow twitch
Yep.
muscles. So there's different muscles and stuff like that. Like I think that you get the best of both worlds doing 5K, which probably would take you 20 25 minutes. Um, well, that's how much it took me. So you get kind of the best of both worlds. It's long enough to get, your cardio fit, but you're not running these like long distances. Because if you look at the long distance runners, a lot of them are thin. Like they don't look like they have a big big
Yeah, I was overweight. I was doing it overweight.
yeah, no,
So
that's
that
it.
could crash metabolism or like
What I know about metabolism is anytime you're increasing muscle mass, that's an
oh
expensive
yeah,
tissue. You'll increase your metabolism. The worst thing to lower your metabolism is a calorie restricted diet
it's
over a
overeating.
long period of time, eating frequently.
Yeah, it's the frequent eating more than the cortisol produced by exercise, because that's you get counter signaled a lot that exercise causes stress and produces cortisol, and cortisol slows down the metabolism.
I
But
wouldn't believe it. I don't believe it. Like
yeah, it's more the
I have
eating frequency is gonna
yeah
touch that
yeah because
way faster.
you're telling your body, hey, there's no
Or no
fruits
sleep,
here
lack of
today.
sleep probably too.
Yeah, but even my sleep hygiene's horrible. I sleep like four
Is
to
it?
five hours,
Mine's good.
and I've never had high cortisol. Like I've even taken bloods and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
you have? I've
I'm not
never
saying it
tested
doesn't
that.
exist or anything, but definitely if you are calorie restricting and eating more frequently,
That yeah.
your body catches
Yeah, the
up.
Weight Watchers.
Yeah, or the biggest loser or anything like that. So here you are, your metabolism's here, and then they tell you, okay, go here. So yeah, you'll lose weight because you're burning more calories than you're taking in. But eventually your body is like, well, the guy's consuming less. So it's going to bring the metabolism lower. Then you plateau. Then you have to go down again. Before you know it, you have zero metabolism. You're the fat guy eating salad and you got ripples and stuff like that. The biggest losers,
It's terrible.
they all rebounded. You've never seen like a reunion for
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And when you do these uh, extreme like the more extreme your calorie restriction is, and that you're exercising, it can have up to 6 years you could or more that your metabolism doesn't recover. If you're
Yeah.
doing intermittent fasting,
Yeah,
or you're
compared to
losing
our
weight
lifestyle.
fasting, like Bruce is doing,
Yeah.
he's not going to crash his metabolism. He is doing
Because it's similar but
food
way different.
fast. Well, it's like there's a difference
It's just
between,
caloric restriction, but it's
yeah, it's caloric restriction, but
the
the body,
exercise is like almost optional. You want resistance,
yeah,
some
it's great.
resistance.
Resistance will stimulate your body during weight loss.
Actual exercise and training is down the line.
Okay. Well, all I know is that if you do exercise a little bit, like Bruce is doing, even though he's fasted, it
Mhm.
means that your body is using it, so it will not lose it.
Yeah,
Because
break it down. Yeah, you want that.
yeah,
So important.
yeah, like you can eat a lot of calories, but you're so totally sedentary. You'll lose your muscles that way too, because
Yep.
because the body doesn't know that we're in 2023. So think of it this way: I'm out in the wild. I'm consuming this much food. Here's my metabolism. Then I go like this, and I'm consuming less. Right? What do you think? Like you'll become a skeleton because of that 500? Like no. Eventually, your metabolism goes.
Mhm.
Oh well, I don't want to be a skeleton, so I will ramp that down. Eventually, you're cold, you're clammy, and it's shutting down things.
Yeah, you're
And then
more vulnerable to getting sick and stuff.
yeah, and then if you up your calories, now you're in a calorie excess, and then that's why you get the rebound effect all the time. So if you're going to want to protect it, it seems like intermittent fasting is good, and I would add mixing it up, not being regularly. Like, oh, I fasted 3 days. Okay, I'm eating. This. Oh, I did 1 day fast. Oh, I ate a lot more today because I'm hungry. Oh, I didn't eat that much. Oh, more fat. Oh, this one's less fat. I think that that's a lot more natural, and you're fluctuating, and
Hmm.
your body will not recognize any of this caloric deficit, because you do lower your calories doing a keto or carnivore diet.
Yeah,
The thing
that's what I'm
that
saying. Mhm.
but you
That's the
do it.
similar, but it's so
But no,
different.
that's it. But
We
nobody
fixed it. We like
tells
cracked the
you.
code.
Yeah, nobody tells you to consume less. Eat when you're hungry, and then you notice that you're eating this 2,000 calories and stuff like that per day.
Yeah,
I never eat 2,000 calories. Sometimes,
I
and
probably do. I'm probably more active though,
yeah,
other than you working.
that's it. Like yeah. So it's just knowing when to use glucose. When do you use it? So for you, any athlete,
Yeah, I train
yes.
3 times a day, then I go out in the water more than that.
Well, that's it. You're quite active then. Uh,
Yeah.
like my boys and stuff like that, they eat,
And then I
they
work
say
like
low
sales
carb.
job.
Yeah, they do like low carb and stuff like that. I'm not telling them to do it. It's just like they compare to what they usually eat. But I always tell them. I said, if you do a 24-hour fast, you get extra growth hormone spikes. So you're literally
Yeah, I
getting
love those.
growth hormone. And so I tell them, uh, so you train. I said have a huge meal, add carbohydrates to it, so the sugar will go into your muscle. You just made a demand. Then I said if you have another meal, try and have another one because they're young, they're growing, they want to have muscles. Then I said no more eating. Then go train fasted, and then again, and just keep
Yeah.
on doing that.
Two
Some
meals,
guys,
two meals with an active lifestyle like builds you, even when you're all grown up.
yeah, yeah, no, for sure, So
If
yeah,
you
it's
eat the right
really,
foods, it gotta be
yes,
whole foods and
yeah,
take
and
it
it varies. It
probably
varies.
take out the
People,
grains and all that.
that's it. People are very different, and yeah, so that's why for here on Mondays, it's like, yeah, if you're doing it, now's the time. Ask the questions. I was like, behind the scenes, like going like, oh, here's my messenger, and then it just got like too much that I was like all over the place, always on my phone. That's not good for the family. So that's why I did like a Patreon. I think it's a 350 American, and I'm like, look, if you want to lose weight and you're paying 350 a month, and I'm
Yeah,
literally there every day, fine tuning, asking, I don't think it's a horrible idea. And that way, I can go on the Patreon, and I can make videos that I'm not making here that are like directly answering your questions or one-on-one and stuff like that. But people can just follow all of the previous Monday streams, or just start now. And if there's a new person, just pop that person on here if they want, and we can get things organized just with an hour and a half stream once a week as well.
definitely, definitely.
But
If you're thinking about starting, you should start.
yeah, I almost
I'm
forgot.
on I'm on the other side. It's hard
Yeah,
it's hard to tell like how into it I was before
yeah,
with the ultra processed foods and just
I
the
know.
normal sicknesses that we
Yeah,
have, depression and anxiety.
definitely.
And it didn't take that long. It took less than a year to like just be out on the other side.
Yeah, I could maybe next time we can concentrate more on like depression and mood and stuff like that. But
Probably, yeah.
Jordan
I get
Peterson,
really into the how they promote the low fat plant-based diets a lot, like and how they justify all that and the channels on YouTube
yeah,
within it's fascinating because again I popped out on the other side. My strategy was obviously what we're talking about here,
yeah,
the animal foods, keto, and how beautiful it worked. And then you go online and want to look for like validation and whatnot, and then you get counter signaled that like no 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 no
yeah,
it's the low fat plant-based diets, and then they compare it all, and then they come out even, but like the keto lost more water, and like all the
yeah, yeah. But
science, the
like,
peer review,
I do,
meta-analysis.
I do have. I won't show it now, but I do have.
It's a
Uh,
lot of data, a
have
lot of
yeah,
get
and to
lost
be
in it.
honest, I could care less. I could care less
Yeah, because
about
we have testimonials.
studies.
We
Yeah,
have
oh,
like
it's
real
anecdotal. It's
testimonials.
anecdotal. It's like, yeah, it's anecdotal,
Yeah, it's
but
anecdotal. It's a lot of anecdotal, like
thousands and thousands and
compounded with
thousands. Yeah, there's hundreds of thousands of people by now that
There
have these
really is.
anecdotal evidence. And if you just go to nutrition and physical degeneration, you'll see how they were eating. It's like uh, all of your brain is majority fat and cholesterol, EPA, DHA. It's quite normal that, and there are studies on illnesses, not the weight loss studies, but studies specifically on illnesses. I take a little bit more respect for, but it seems like right down to
Yeah,
Navy SEALs
trying to
are
push a narrative.
inducing, yeah, they're inducing ketosis because
Oh
when they
wow.
go in deep sea diving and they're breathing 100% oxygen, that pushes the threshold for seizures, hyperoxia, and they're inducing ketosis because it lowers their chance of like having a seizure and dying on a mission and stuff like that. Alzheimer's, they're trying to make money with ketone powder. Instead of telling family members to put their loved ones on a ketogenic diet, it's super crooked. Let me just, I wanted to update about Bruce, and then we'll probably cut it uh,
Okay, yeah. That's
soon.
all I need to say.
Yeah, because I don't want it to go on like all the time, like too long.
Yeah, we'll come
Okay,
back next week
so
and whatever.
yeah, for sure. So August 10th is my brother's estimate for when he's going to have all his technical issues fixed. So he's supposed to. I don't know if I think he's getting a new computer completely. I'm not sure, but he said tell them August 10th. I should have my computer. And he said it doesn't mean that he'll be streaming on August 10th. He's getting it back. So, but gives an idea that it's not in the coming days. So, hey, it's good. He's taking a break, for summer. So Bruce started at roughly 300 pounds. He started April 12th.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
yeah, right now he's around 220 to 225. He was doing 7-day fast in a row with a mostly animal food refeed. He says most of the time he's eating hamburger meat, eggs, chicken, and bacon sometimes. He said that now he's kind of chilled out and he's kind of doing like 3-day fasts. And then, I told Bruce, I said, I might be wrong a little bit, but it seems like 3-day fast and maybe like, I don't know if it's 2 days, one meal each or two meals, something along that line. So he's taken it easy, which I think is a good idea
Hmm.
uh, to help his body composition more. Uh, like I suggested, especially for his like 7 days and stuff, a supplement, just like a multivitamin.
Hmm.
Magnesium sulfate helps for Charlie horses because you can get like low magnesium and it can either make like a twitch, like an eyelid twitch, which is super annoying. I told him, well, I mean, there's vitamin C in the Centrum, but he's also taking a vitamin C, like those 1,000 milligram things. Um, he says that he's losing weight. Obviously, his belly fat he is slowly noticing, and his chest as well. He says that he finds that he's getting less colds. He's less prone to getting sick. Bruce had a major eye issue. It's been years. And that improved drastically. It pretty much almost went away during his fasting days. He feels like it comes back a little bit when he starts eating again. What's else? And yeah, he's still wondering if he was hacked or what happened to his computer. So he's still talking about anticipating the disclosure about stuff on the moon and stuff like that. So I don't know. Did his what happened to his computer? I didn't ask him, but like if he's kind of saying like scratching his head a bit, like this happened because of what he's talking about. Uh, he wanted me to throw that out there. And that's pretty much it. Let's look at anything up there. No questions, guys. Um, it doesn't look like there's too much. Tomorrow is Taco Tuesday. Well, see, what I'll do for tacos is I'll just have everything but the taco shell. So same thing for spaghetti. It's like, yeah, okay, well, I just have the spaghetti sauce and just add
Extra
like,
sauce and meat.
yeah, and cheese in there and stuff like that. Somebody who likes spaghetti,
Yeah.
there is like spaghetti squash. I've seen that. They used to use that for like Weight Watchers and stuff like that. It's like a natural squash that when you like scoop it out, it forms like kind of like noodles, but it's squash, so it's probably starchy. Maybe it's high in carbs. I'm not sure. I just eat the sauce.
It sounds good, unless it's might be kind of processed.
I don't know. I don't use it, but definitely like sometimes I'm at work or something, I'm hungry and it's like, okay,
I've
well,
never had the cauliflower rice either.
no, I think my mom tried it. I think it's pretty good. Maybe I'll ask my mom for the recipe. Another way, I think she's definitely done pizza to make cauliflower.
I think I had
Um,
that once. I liked it. Just
you
from the
can also just
supermarket.
make a base of bacon. You just kind of like overlap it, and then just throw your toppings, and then it's going to be like this crispy with the bacon on the bottom as well. Taco shells, I know that you can just literally throw cheese on a frying pan and stuff like that, and it'll kind of cook and get hard, and you can flip it, and then you can make like taco shells with just cheese. Let me see if I've done that before. Wait, and then we'll end it there.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah, I think I almost gained like 15 pounds of lean mass. Something crazy like that.
that's crazy. Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah, all like
Because
rough estimates. But yeah, my lowest was like 144 and like I get like a really nice 152 now.
well, it's because you're eating what you're made of. Like what
Yeah,
they're
eating what I'm
telling
made of.
us to eat is what we're not made of. It's literally not what we're made of. So
Yeah, it's so crazy they can counter signal this with the highest education in medical science and all of it, nutritional science. They not all of them, but like almost it's not in our
mostly,
favor.
yeah,
It's
they're even if they do know, they have to shut their mouth. They're not
yeah, and
allowed.
that's the other thing I said. They're on our side, but they don't teach it and they don't practice it. But
Yeah,
they will recommend it.
yeah,
Some of them.
and yeah, then you have the other ones that are like completely
Yeah,
like brainwashed. Like,
and then the ones that are freaking paid, they have to be paid on YouTube to actually like talk the way they talk about the other side.
yeah,
They're like paid by the grain institutions or something, or
they're
the
paid.
vegan
Yeah,
people like
Nestle.
Brother Farms. They have the paid vegan activists. That's real.
Mhm. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. That is 100% real. Here, keto nachos, almost zero carbs.
Mhm.
I bet you this one is with my wife on a Teflon pan. But yeah, a Teflon pan. Shh. But here, let's look at it quickly. Don't do it on Teflon.
Your taco.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's how you. So,
All right, so you
oh,
just
cheese.
grate the cheese, throw it in there,
Yeah, if the grease comes out of it all by
Oh
itself.
yeah, what are those
except
chips?
Whatever you
except
It's cheese.
Teflon pans are poison. So if there's
can't stop it there.
health freaks
It can be done in the
listening, they're
oven.
gonna shame
No,
this video.
it can be done in the oven on
Yeah,
parchment
or
paper.
a regular pan.
except it takes so much longer in the oven on parchment.
Okay, is it good? You like it? Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
I don't
good.
know. Look at my book.
All right, so this is what the plate looks like. I took pictures before.
Yeah.
So this is just a typical
Yeah, big
ground
plate.
beef and
Yeah.
what you would put on like nachos or tacos or whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely like the nasty nacho, Old El Paso mix and stuff like that. It's like, give me a break. It's not a religion yet.
Oh, this is the grass fed stuff that we
I
bought.
can't help but
This
to mix
is
like all
full
my
fat
food up now.
sour
It's
cream,
funny.
and these are the
It's I
things
think
that we
that's something
saw.
with the diet and whatever,
Just
like
cheese.
makes you like
You're
mix your food up.
Slightly.
Yeah.
Ooh, garden
I'm getting to
tomatoes,
the
right?
point where the protein is getting like I don't count it, but
Okay.
the protein's kind of getting really high.
Yeah, but you're doing a lot of physical demand, so it's naturally. Me
Yeah, I'm just saying to
personally,
like I love eating protein, but it is getting to the point where it's like, oh, this is too much protein to eat.
yeah.
I
Oh,
get it.
eat if you're hungry, just eat it.
But
Pretty,
yeah, I'll just
Garden
take like
well,
quick
it's pretty
breaks and then eat
solid,
it.
It's Pretty solid.
But it's
and,
funny. I'm trying to build myself
guys,
up again.
if you like my
even though
video-
I just turned 30.
Okay.
All right, that's it.
All right, man. That's it. Thanks to everyone.
All right,
And,
thank you, Darla. Thank you,
yeah,
chat.
make sure to show up. Especially probably my brother won't be there for the next one, so I definitely
Yeah, his
will
computer
need you
got
all.
exploded and captured by the aliens.
Yeah, look up stuff about low carb or ketogenic diet and mood, depression, stuff like that. See if I
Yeah,
can
that'll be
do
the
some homework,
topic.
and we can focus on that like a little bit. Do
Yeah.
the repeat stuff, and then after we can go and see what we
That's
can
a good
find.
niche. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll see what I can find that's worth talking about.
Just write ketogenic diet and write Scholar or PubMed. You'll see, or Healthline. I'm sure there's tons of stuff. I know Jordan Peterson. He's been doing it for like, I don't know, like well over 5 years. Supposedly just like fatty meat, water, and salt. And him and Michaela. Michaela had his daughter was the first one that did the carnivore diet. She had like a joint replacements and she was like 8. She was like falling apart with this autoimmune disease, and she's the one that kind of resolved it. That's why they're so like stuck on it, because Jordan Peterson had a lot of things
He had problems,
and his
dependencies.
got better and stuff like that. So let's see what
Yeah, that's a coincidence too, because I just ran into an old friend, and he came out and told me he's on carnivore and he healed his anxiety and depression. I just remembered it because I had a long day.
Because
like, yeah,
it's
I'm not
fat.
even making that up.
Cholesterol is
He's
what
talking
you
about
need for your
carnivore.
brain. If your brain is
Yeah,
majority of people, they're eating
and
omega-6 seed oils.
The other thing, it's so sad, Jason. Yeah, exactly. The other thing that's so sad is like my other, honestly, best friend is 12-year vegan.
Yeah.
And his brother is like really long too, and it's so difficult.
I have a friend, his sister has multiple sclerosis. She went on a vegan diet, lost all of the, I mean, it's a muscle degenerative disease, right? She lost all her muscle, ended up in the hospital. And then I'm like looking at myself, I'm like, she needs fat and protein. That would have maintained her. That could have probably really helped her. But, you know when to shut your mouth and when not to. I kind of talk.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I value our friendship so much, but it's so wild that I can see like the health effects now. But it's only like it's only brain fog and muscle loss.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like compounding, and he kind of like admits like he needs to like take his vitamin or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's more serious than that. Like,
what about
and
age?
Like,
though?
it's obviously it's more like he has like a pheasant that like that he takes care of too and lays eggs. They don't like eat the eggs.
Yeah, like that's the where I would
It's
be
a
like
vegan. It's
like,
basically
dude.
a vegan pheasant. It like made its way onto his farm. He takes care of it. And it lays vegan eggs. They're vegan eggs.
Yeah,
right.
It's like, dude, they're gonna lay them anyways. So treat the chicken like a pet.
It's for your brain.
Just happens that it
even if you
pops out
hate the eggs and it's disgusting or whatever you think, it's chicken period, blah blah blah, ovulation. It's for your brain.
Yeah.
Do you value your thought process?
Hey, you should use the argument that if you go get one cow, one pig, and let's say just one cow and one pig, you have it slaughtered, and it's slaughtered locally where you know it's grass fed, and then you have the chickens, and you just allow the chickens to lay eggs. You don't kill them. You let them retire. You would say you would tell them that's like 3 deaths that feeds you for over a year and a half. Try and ask them, do you acknowledge that all of this food that you're eating from mass-produced farms must kill a certain amount of wild animals by accident? If you can get them to admit that, then you can do the math. Then you could say, not only that,
he knows.
Oh, man.
Or like he's in I've never told him this, but he farms himself. and
Yeah.
he's dealt with deer and stuff, and he is smart. He's a smart person. He's put it together, and he knows it's a religion or a political stance. That's all it
Oh,
is. It's
he's
a
on.
philosophy, religion, political stance. That's veganism, and it's basically to like take farm animals away from humans. Is like
Yes.
the basic thing of it. And it's like
I mean, they've admitted, like, I was
it's
like,
not
okay,
really cruelty or
no, now it's
equality.
about
It's
animal, like
just
human rights or
yeah,
something. Like,
the
I'm impressed because like all of this, them switching, because primarily before we let go, we could go on. When it comes to veganism, it's a YouTube movement. It's an online YouTube movement at this point where the vegan influencers that are on the top, they decide now. They're redefining veganism, and I think to a large extent,
yeah, redefining it because of
it's
the
literally Garland
challenges.
Farms. Garland Farms, and now they're like, oh well, it's
Yeah, Garland
because
Farms. I use his arguments on social media all the time and argue with these people. It's so fun because you can
yeah,
kind of pin them down. And
because
you
it's
and
not
it's not
only
even out
about
of spite. You're like educating people with like the waste products and like
yeah,
how
and
the industry like is putting its resources and
but it's not only about the numbers, right? It's like, okay, so I kill my cow, I'll kill a cow, a pig, a lamb,
sorry
and
to
I
get
have
on a tangent.
those are 3 deaths. What's
Yeah.
the suffering? Well, it's quick, so it's low intensity and low duration. One of those rats that gets poisoned there by rodenticides and stuff like that, it slowly bleeds to death. So even if I had like 3 deaths and they only have one little mouse, that mouse suffered days bleeding to death, then all of these three, the intensity, therefore the suffering, because suffering should be duration multiplied by intensity. So they are literally now saying, well, it's not about the suffering anymore. It's about human right violations or something. They're starting to talk. It's like it's getting pretty loopy out there.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's leave it at that. I'll see you next.
Give it. All right.
All right, see you
Good
guys.
night. Thank you.
Yeah, bye bye. All right, guys, thanks for showing up. Have a good night.